Hey folks, it's Wade the Shoe Dog. Welcome to Shoemakers Academy. Hey, listen, today we're going to talk about the Footwear Developers Checklist, and I want to show you where on the website to find this. I'm going to give you the short version of it, but if you really want to, get to the whole deal, it's all down here on the website. And actually, on the website, there's a link where you can download a hard copy of this and pin it to the wall because if you're a footwear developer, this is critically important. Okay, but first of all, I just want to take you back to, a lot of people watch videos here, but you never come to the Shoemakers Academy website. I just want to take a second to tell you what's here. Of course, tons of great shoemaking content, but we talk about, brand building, DIY, and design, right? All about footwear. So if you are interested in training courses, we've got courses on just about every subject related to footwear. If you're looking for a book, if you're looking for DIY supplies, we've got a whole collection of stuff. If you want to make shoes at home, including some cool DIY kits, perfect holiday gift. Just so you let you know that. And then we do consulting. So if you have a brand already and you're up and running, and you're say got into Alibaba factory and things aren't going well, and you need some pros to come in and give you a hand, we can sort that out. We've got people here in the United States. We also have a small team in China, and just about every day, our crew is going in and helping brands get things sorted out. Big or small, we can give you a hand. Now, I started my career as a designer, but pretty rapidly became a footwear developer. And I had maybe the luck or misfortune of having following one of my designs, my early designs, off the end of my pencil, right, drawing it, rendering it, winning the critique, and then having to follow it into the development office in Taiwan and through the development phase and getting the shoe produced in China. So, this was pretty early on in my career, and it was pretty formative for me to go through that operation and actually have to execute a drawing that I made. So enough of that story, but I want to show you a checklist that I've created to help my develop. And I went on to run a development team in China and in the United States. So I'm going to show you this is the secret sauce as a developer. So over here it is. This is called the Footwear Developers Checklist. This is on the shoemaking blog, and we're gonna go through the checklist. You can ignore this part. I mean, hey, this is just telling you how important footwear development is. Okay, number one, does your project have a shoe last? I mean, if you don't know what a shoe last is, this is a shoe last. This is the shape of the shoe, and literally, you're not getting very far if you don't have one of these. And number one is not just to make sure that you have one, but make sure you have one that's proven. Okay, step one. Step two, are the design drawings complete? Because some designers are fantastic. They will make you a detailed A to Z, all the details of the drawing of the shoe, and it's totally clear to everybody involved. Other designers might not. And it's your job as a developer to ask those questions, get the stuff filled in. Next is, do you have a realistic target price? And do you know the duty classification for a shoe? Target price, of course, is what are you going to buy it from the factory for? And then if you know the duty rate as it comes into your country, then you can help your product manager and your category manager calculate what they need to sell it for. But that's critically important because you need to take that target price for the market and work it backwards and be able to look at that specification and say, hey, we can have all these things, but it's going to cost more. So you have to decide, are you going to change the price? You're going to change the specification. It's the developer's job to figure that out. Now you're going to look at the drawing of this shoe and you see, are there any potential technical problems, whether it's design related or technology related? Have you heard of the known unknowns? You could look at a drawing and go, okay, I see how to do that. This is easy to understand. How are we going to do this other feature? If you don't know, you got to raise your hand and figure out a way to solve that one. Does the shoe require any new tooling? Hey, if it's a new outsole or a new midsole or a new logo, there's going to have to be some investment in equipment. Is there a budget? because you could start working on this, and if there's no budget to do, $100,000 worth of equipment, you better find another way to achieve that. Do you have a timetable? Right. So if a shoe is coming for, say, spring summer season, you know that it has to be in production in January, right? And is there some complication that's going to cause you to miss that? So number one, do you know the timetable? And number two, you're going to hit it. Because also it makes no sense for the factory to be making sandals in August. They need to be sold in August, which means they need to be shipping in March, right? So you got to work the timetable. Do you have a factory with the right capabilities and people? This is important because, say if you go to Alibaba, they might take your shoe and take it to their friend who maybe doesn't have the right stuff to make your shoe. And I've been to a factory that looked horrible, but for the kind of shoe we were making, it was perfectly suitable. But for the other, client shoe, I would never take them near this factory because they didn't have the right stuff. And also, you might find a factory that doesn't have the right personnel to face you, whether they're inexperienced or don't speak English or don't speak Spanish. There's lots of things that can sort of go wrong. So you want to, find a factory that can A, make the shoe that you want to make, but B, like, can they make enough of them? Because you might find a small factory that's ready, willing, and able, but if you want to make 1,000,000 pairs, then you look at that small factory and go, there's no way you're going to be able to make that. So finding the right factory is pretty important. Now, number 8 is a little point of introspection, and I've in my past maybe not been as good at this as I am now, but is to be able to look at the shoe, and if there's something that you cannot do yourself, right, that you don't understand, or you're not sure how it's going to work, then ask for help. There's so many people in this business, and I've been lucky to have some fantastic mentors all through my career. I mean, even now, I've been in it for 30 years and I still have a mentor that I work with regularly that has been at it for, another 10 or 15 years longer than me, that has slightly different experience. And it's really great to be able to lean on those people and understand capabilities. And even now, I still work to build my own capabilities. So you got to do the same. If is there anything that will blow up the schedule or the cost? Yeah, this is critical. You want to anticipate. I mean, this a little bit goes back up to point number 4, but it really, it's your job as a developer to raise your hand and say, hey, folks, this is not going right. Whether it's your fault or the factory's fault, or we don't, who calls fault. The point is, if there's going to be an issue, you got to find a solution, and you can't just keep that problem in the dark until it's too late. You got to be right up front about it. And, if you see something, say something, right? Because, if you wait to respond, it may be too late, right? Sometimes you make the decision, yeah, you know what? It might take another month to do it, but we can afford to air freight. Or if you get to a point where it's a month late and they say, well, you have to cancel it because we can't afford some of these things, right? Or maybe it's a tooling question or a budget question. You got to really get out in front of it. Okay. And number 10, as a developer, remember that you are the most important person on the development team, because, without the developer really taking fantasy and turning it into reality, even the greatest designer in the world still needs help to take that creative drawing and make it real. And these are totally different skills, right? And remember, it is the developer that really transforms that creative, crazy impulse or fantasy into a real shoe that fits, it's functional, it's the right price, and can be delivered. That's the developer's responsibility. So as a developer, you are critically important to make sure that gets done. Okay, folks, that's it. Hey, listen, again, come to that page. There's going to be a link where you can download the sheet. And again, if you really, we could go on for another half an hour. If you want to dig a little deeper, there's even more about each of these subjects. If you're a footwear developer, you want to be a footwear developer, and you're looking for that mentorship or some help with a question, I'm not lying when I say, hey, there's people out there to help. I'm one of them, and you can schedule a call, and I'm happy to help you. or introduce you. If I can't help you, I can introduce you to someone that does. Again, folks, this is the developers 10-point checklist. It's over here at the Shoemakers Academy. If you go to the shoemaking blog section, you can find it. And folks, I'm Wade Matawi, and thank you for watching. Hey, look in the description below. You'll find the links back to the website and directly to this article. If you dig around in there, you'll probably find a discount code too. So thanks for watching, and if you think of it, like and subscribe.